Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, with patch 9 this week, Bethesda have given us quite a few changes and updates to Fallout 76. There's the whole Pioneer Scouts questline and the challenges associated with that, and the goal to get the backpacks. And player vending as well has literally breathed new life into the game in a lot of ways, so well worth checking out. But I'd like to talk today about a little change Bethesda have made that they neglected to tell us about, which is quite interesting. Normally I would find that frustrating, but I get the feeling they've done this more as a kind of nice little surprise for old players should they stumble across it, and partly also in the sense that new players, if they're coming in at this stage, won't even notice it at all. So as you can see, we're at Morgantown Airport. You may have noticed from the title they've made a little change here. So we'll make our way inside. You can probably tell I'm way over leveled for it. Physics are still a bit interesting. But being over leveled should allow us to nip through with a fair bit of ease. Clear this front area, not much change out here. I'm just going to grab a couple of stim packs and things, assuming there are any available. And whilst we're doing this, as you can see, we've got somebody who's decided to make a purchase from a camp. It's miles from here as it happens, but there we go. We've just been credited with a few caps for that. There's a few more. So, this is where it starts to change. I can't remember if the departures lounge here was always locked off like that, or if this is part of the change. But either way, we can't get in there. The only available entrance to us is the arrivals door here. Immediately on entering, we see there's already a few changes. The lighting has already changed quite dramatically. Better illuminated, but the colours give it a warmer vibe, I suppose. Makes the place feel a little different to it used to. A lot more barricades and trash scattered around, which is reflective of the responders' last stand that took place here. They've also snuck a few little changes through about the Scorched dialogue, I think, as well, and possibly even some super mutants as well. That's a little unconfirmed right now. But I've noticed a few new options amongst their dialogue. You can see already, the place is fairly devastated by the Scorched attack that took out the responders. We head down here. These power armor stations were always here, as was the weapons workbench. But this staircase used to be open. Now it's clearly collapsed. We've got a set of lockers there. Same's true over on the other side. You used to be able to get through to the departures area, and that's been barricaded off, as you can see there as well. So we'll take a look in this back room. Send that Radix flying for some reason. Get there eventually. There we go. And we have a little chalkboard on the wall here. Layout described there, and a battle plan from the responders. So establish fronts at baggage claim, arrivals and gates. Find anything solid and begin barricading. Baggage claim should pull back to utility. Hold out there as long as you can before regrouping at arrivals. Arrivals, retreat point is security. Get everyone in and lock the gate behind you. If all else fails, fall back to command. Good luck. So we head down this staircase to a lower level, which I'm pretty darn sure never used to be here. So we'll take up the Scorched for this new part of Morgantown Airport. Most things are fairly standard, but same old tool set, of course, but nice to see a new area. Interesting little surprise, this. Ended up coming through here on stream the other day, just specifically to wear down a crossbow, actually. So I was using that on the Scorched in here, and it was quite the surprise to find the change, I have to admit. Then knock her out a little bit. Yeah, I haven't noticed many people coming across this, which is probably not surprising, given that most higher level players have no particular reason to come here. It was just because I was looking for somewhere low leveled with a lot of Scorched in it that I happened to pop back here and notice. Yeah, entire new area down here. Doing this chap. Chap can go the same way. Scorched climbing out of holes in the ground. Oh, he's down. And we should be free to have a little nosy around down here now. They've also added quite a bit more lore to this place, so it's come to life in a way that is quite cool. Through the gap in the wall there, we won't see a dead responder who seems to be holding on to something. Get back to her in a moment. Scorched running around upstairs, clearly cottoned onto my presence down here. Gotta grab the desk fan. Unlock this door. Behind here is a staircase that runs up. And there's another one just over on the right there as well. We're going to make our way up this staircase here. It's the one nearest where we came in. Either one's perfectly good, but the one's a bit more linear, so that gives us a better representation of the whole area anyway. So we come up here, we see this is where the Tinker's bench over there always used to be. But it's had a little bit of a facelift, a bit of remodelling. See, we're behind that barricade now. It's all blocked off. That's where we came in on the other side of there. And this area, I think, always used to have toilets, but it's had a little bit of a remodel and a lot of damage done to it too, apparently. Push on into the departures area. So we'd see the plane is still here. A couple of guys coming in through metal detectors there. But the place feels actually slightly smaller than it used to, which is interesting. Especially now it's been sealed off. I had a little bit of a play around with the debris in here. Terminals there. Got the trading post over here that used to have a responder trading bot in there. Fortunately, he doesn't seem to be there anymore. Or rather, here he is. He's dead on the floor. Poor chap. The unfortunate end in the corner there, apparently. Still see we've got a few bits and pieces knocking around. Got his wares advertised on the chalkboards there. And we've got an ID card reader to get into the back room now. And the other staircase actually comes up in there, so you can come through there without the ID card if you want. And then there's a button on the inside of it just to get out. But we're going to have a look on in a moment. We'll go in through the front door here in a moment. Cross on through here. There's a change. Metal detector makes noise when you go through it now. Pretty sure it didn't used to do that. It's not in response to you passing through it anyway. So here's the other staircase to the upper level. The departures lounge, I suppose. We've got another ID card reader. And this is our only way in now. We'll head down this new staircase to the left. Take out a couple more Scorched. Well, will if he'll stand still anyway. This guy's climbing out of his grave, apparently. One more around the corner there. There he is, hiding in the shadows. I could have left my Pip-Boy light on here, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to see the new atmosphere that Bethesda have put in here, which is quite cool. Little sneaky changes like this. An interesting choice, but kind of nice to stumble across, particularly for old players. It won't make much of an impact on new players, but I realise I'm somewhat optimistic talking about new players, but hopefully the good vibe and good word of everybody who's still playing with this new update will bring a few people back at the very least. So here's our late responder, complete with keycard. I'm not going to take because I've already got it. On the desk we also have a little note with a couple of pens that I'm going to quickly grab because I want the plastic. So clearly somebody went out to try and make a break for it, and it did not end well. A little bit more lore there. I'm going to skip over a couple of bits of lore. That will spoil the whole thing for you, give you the chance to come and have a look at it. Basically, it hasn't changed the basic nature of what went on here, but there's a little more detail about individuals, which is cool. But the animation on that door's a bit iffy today. Fine when I first came through here, I think it's just server's a bit busier now. See, we've got a few bits and pieces stored back here, presumably for the vendor bot to sell, or before he met his end anyway. Got a workbench back there as well. Let ourselves back out. That little bit of plastic. Head on upstairs. Swipe that ID card. Kind of makes sense to have it sealed off, really, I think. An interesting change. It does have a certain logical consistency. Take a few Scorched out up here. They stop wriggling around anyway. The first impression you get here straight away is that it's much, much brighter up here. Before it was really, really dark and hard to see anything. Now they've managed to keep that destroyed, enclosed feeling, but at the same time make the place a lot more visible, so you can actually see the work they've done designing the area, which is quite cool. And I like it. I think it's pretty cool. See, on this back wall, it was a very interesting point, there used to be exits onto the tarmac there, or at least one exit onto the tarmac. That's gone. That's all boarded up. Well, it's still there, obviously, but can't get out there like we used to. You have to go back out the way we came in and round the outside of the building now, which is interesting. A few bits and pieces in the kitchen. Basically everything you could need as a low-level player. You might not have picked up all the workbenches when you get here. Handy to have everything here. Little reference to somebody being sent out to find the Free States and find out what's happening and what the Brotherhood are up to shortly before their demise, presumably. A little bit more lore on the interaction between the Brotherhood and the Responders from the Responders' point of view this time. There's a fair bit from the Brotherhood's point of view, but nice to hear a little bit more from the Responders on that subject. There is some in the command centre as well, I believe. Head back on round. Got a few more changes over this end as well. This doorway used to be open, it's not anymore. Just here we have the top of the stairs by the power armor where we came in. This also used to be a nice easy way up, but unfortunately, as you can see, clearly blocked now. Clearly blocked? Okay, fair enough. So this little storage room here is locked off as well. Hack this one quite quickly. Don't need any perks to get through here, so it's reflective of the fact it's a very low level area. So a little bit more information here. I'll open that door. You guys can read that yourself if you're really interested. And we have another dead responder in a cupboard. And a holotape there to find out about her final days, which were rather unpleasant. Head back through to the command centre. Not a great deal's changed in here. Maria Chavez still on the floor there, where she was before. Kind of curious if they've increased the resolution on her face a bit, or she always was that well modelled. Still, looks good. Beyond that, not a great deal's changed. We've got the overseer's cache, the workbenches. The map will still put various places on your Pip-Boy map. Have a look in here. This is the other side of that newly sealed up door. Got a few bits and pieces in here. First time I came through here, there was a cap stash, but there doesn't seem to be one now. I think. I wonder if they're still revising the place. And we have this lift, which is the last point. Basically, been through the whole place now. So yeah, quite a big series of changes. Grab this desk fan on the way out and take advantage of the workbench. We'll make our way out. So, a very interesting little stealth change from Bethesda there, which is a nice little surprise. It's kind of fun to discover things like this every so often. Hope it's something they'll do more of in the future. For now, that brings us to the end of our little look around this interesting change that they've made. I do hope you found that interesting. If you did, do hit those buttons for me. It's always very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description as well if you want to catch up with me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And do stop by and catch one of the live streams as well. We're having a lot of fun playing Fallout at the minute, exploring the Pioneer Scouts and pushing on with the main story before too much longer as well. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all very, very soon.